Good morning, everybody. Well, it depends. It's morning for me. It depends on where you are in the world. For me, it's, oh my gosh, 8 a.m. This is probably the earliest live stream. Now, not that I have a problem doing a live stream at 8 a.m., but my voice, sometimes my throat might be dry from sleeping all night and stuff like that. I'm not quite ready, but today's Halloween for me, and depending on what day it is for you, it might be tomorrow. In some countries, you might have just ended Halloween and it might be going into November. So I just thought I'd do a quick, it's never quick with me. You guys know that. I'm going to do a live stream. It might not necessarily be quick, but there's so many cool things I know that going on that I know there's no way that I'm going to make a video on each one. So I can talk about these things here in a live stream and go through all the different topics and have fun with it. So you can, of course, ask questions and I'll scroll through the questions at the end. And I like to go through questions and answer them live. It's actually kind of good to be put on the spot like that sometimes. So, okay. My audio sound looks like it's good. If someone can just confirm that everything's looking good, the audio sounds like it normally sounds and all that. And this is live, by the way. You most likely will hear a dog bark at some point because my dog is little and he certainly likes to bark all the time. But he's a great little dog. So, okay, great. We got some comments coming in, and it's definitely great to see you guys in the morning. And if you're catching this live stream after the live portion of it, I try to add timestamps to get through it, so that might be available for you. I've been doing a good job with timestamps these last 6 months. If you've been watching any of my videos, I would say about 95% of them have timestamps, and it makes it easier for people to get through the videos and get to what is interesting to them. Oh, it's great to see all you guys on a Halloween morning. It's a weird Halloween with this pandemic going on. I have a son who's 14, so he's already at that age where there's no trick-or-treating going on, but he will be doing something else today. So it's that this is kind of weird. Normally we would, as a family, go and carve some pumpkins. We're not doing that. We had a big fire out here. I'm going to update a lot of you guys on that as well. There's a crazy fire that happened, but I'll tell you all about that. So I might be drinking water a little more than normal during this live stream. But I got some really cool things to share with you, like really cool things. I think I said in the title, some speed tips, some new speed tips that are available. There's some really cool stuff that's going to apply to most of you. Oh man, I definitely needed some water. So I've got my coffee, I've got my water here. It looks like we're good here, and I can show comments. Hey, Zach from Alaska. Alaska gets dark half the year. Is that parts of Alaska? I wonder if it's the dark time or the light time. All right. Someone having problems with Cloudways Vulture HF. We can certainly talk about that. I don't know what problems you'd have. I use Vulture High Frequency and I love it. Enrico, hey Adam, happy about the almost part, and that's in reference to the title about my house almost burned down. I got an interesting story to tell you about that. I did post, YouTube gives me a community tab, and also if you're in the WP Crafter Facebook group, I posted some updates and some photos of this crazy thing that happened last week. I wanted to definitely give you guys an update on that. Max in Berlin. I don't know if you knew, Max, I'm half German. My family is I have my aunt in Heidelberg, that's near Mannheim, and my grandmother, who's very old, she lives in the Black Forest. So traditionally, my family comes from the Black Forest area of Germany. I don't speak German. My dad came here when he was 12. And, hey, what's going on, Fernando? Good to see you as well. Okay, it's good to see everybody. And I will get started. Let's see. You are in Corona. I didn't know that. It's Doug, right? Doug or Dave. The name there. It's like a little tongue twister. That's the hard thing about naming, is it being a tongue twister. Convoology. So it's probably conversionology. I didn't know you were local, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so I'm just in Chino Hills. So it's good to know that you are local. And, obviously, we're probably like 10 minutes from each other. Nigeria, hello. Hello. All right. This is a packed house already, so I don't want to waste anybody's time. All right. Well, you know what? I will actually start by just the little personal side of things. We'll start with the fire. So I live in California. I live in Chino Hills, and we have something called the Santa Ana winds. And what this is certain parts of the year, it's extremely windy, like very, very aggressive winds. And this year was the worst winds ever. So on Monday morning, I woke up and everything was normal, but then it was probably around 10 a.m., maybe 9:30 a.m. The wind got so extreme. It was so intense, nothing like I'd ever experienced before. And it wasn't just me. I messaged my father-in-law, who lives about 1.5 miles down the road, and I'm like, the wind was kind of crazy, huh? He's like, yeah, I've never seen it so strong. He said, we were out for a walk and it was so strong, we were worried a tree would fall over. So they went back in the house, and later that day I found out the winds were almost 100 miles per hour. So what this ends up doing, unfortunately, is the above ground power lines, it puts a lot of pressure on those power lines, and it can cause some form of a spark. A power line can break, and then that can start a fire. So in California, we have a fire issue, and fires are typically caused by the power company or by arson. It's always those two, or an accidental arson. And we've actually experienced all three this year. So there's lots of fires going on. Whenever there's fires going on, the only way I can make a connection to it is if I'm nearby in the smoke and we have to close our windows because it has strong smoke. And I've lived through a few fires, but oh my gosh. So we live our normal day on Monday, and then at 4:00 in the afternoon, I'm in the living room with my son, and I get a text message, and it said there's an important message, and it's from my neighborhood. They have everyone's contact information, and it's called what's called an HOA. Anyways, the HOA sends a text message and then sends an email at 4 p.m. that says, you have to evacuate. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I call the front gate and they say, no, you don't have to evacuate. Anyways, then all the information starts flooding in. We were on an evacuation warning. And I've never experienced anything like this. So what had happened was a fire started right where my house is. There's a huge state park, city, state park, county park, whatever. It's gigantic, and there's wilderness in there and all that. And then on the other side is another group of cities. So on the other side is where a fire had started. And I'd noticed there was a fire in the news, but it was way over there. Things happen so quick with the wind and all that. By the time 4:00 rolls around, we're getting warnings that we are on evacuation notice, which means we don't have to evacuate, but get prepared in case. And then literally an hour later or 2 hours later, it was a mandatory evacuation for my neighborhood because we're right up against that park, and it's all hills and stuff like that. And we're just right next to it. So we didn't know what to do. Now, when I was single, I probably wouldn't evacuate. I ain't leaving my house, but I'm a married man, and I've got a wife, and I've got a son, and I've got a dog now. So I got the full family, and it's my job to keep everyone safe. So we're sitting there, and we don't know what to do. And then the sheriff goes knocking on everybody's door. So they had the police out in every single area that they were evacuating, knocking on everyone's door to ask them to leave. And technically you could get criminal charges filed against you if you don't leave. So we decided to leave. And fortunately, I have in-laws about 1.5 miles away. So they weren't on evacuation orders because they're too much inland. And we went there and we stayed at their house. And, staying at someone else's house on short notice, it's uncomfortable. You like your bed, your stuff, your routine, your things. And anyways, we had to leave. And thankfully, what ended up happening was because there was so much time, it wasn't so immediate that the fire was going to be right over on this side of the valley. It was on the other side. And so that next day, firefighters from all around California poured into the area to fight the fires, and there was over 1,800 firefighters that came in. There was actually 2 fires going on, but 1,800 firefighters. There was firefighters everywhere, and it was crazy. When I was leaving the community, I posted the pictures in the Facebook group. You could see the hill and you could see the fires there. It was like red. It was pretty intense. It was like something out of a war zone. You hear choppers. You've got police vehicles, fire engines everywhere when we were leaving. It was kind of surreal. Anyways, that next day, 1,800 firefighters were here, and what they had such a advanced notice that they did what's called controlled burns. So they did a controlled burn perimeter around my city. And so when the fire came, there would be nothing to burn at a certain distance from where the homes are. So they do these controlled burns. Anyways, that day was crazy. There's so much news footage. It was called the Blue Ridge Fire, and anyone can go and search Blue Ridge Fire. Go to Twitter, type Blue Ridge Fire. The video is just videos out there are just so intense of what ended up happening. But anyways, that night, so this would be Tuesday night, the fire was literally like right at the edge, but because they did all these controlled burns, they had helicopter drops, they had plane drops. I mean, they were on it. Not one structure was damaged, including my house. So it was just a real crazy time. On Tuesday, though, what was nice to see is the community was so grateful that our homes were protected and these people were really being heroes and putting themselves in the direct line of the fire. The whole city was giving them all kinds of supplies, drinks and foods, anything that they needed to continue doing what they were doing. My wife went and took a bunch of Gatorades and power bars. The firefighters were in all the restaurants. All the restaurants gave them the food for free. Citizens were bringing all this food to them at the fire stations. It was a really touching thing. Here's let's see, this should work. Oh, there I am. So here you could actually do a Google search for it, a Blue Ridge Fire, right here, and you could see videos of it. It was intense. That Tuesday night, fires did get right up to people's backyards. It's crazy. And so when I go and drive out, you see the hills are all burnt. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. It's really sad for the wildlife. You know what I mean? All the animals are displaced. I'm sure some animals got trapped. There's just been crazy fires, especially if you're from Australia. You can relate to some of this, So we're fine. I wasn't worried about my house, even if it burnt down. I'm not a materialistic person. We took some of the stuff we needed. I have fire insurance. I wasn't worried about that. I was worried just... It was a big inconvenience, obviously. I was worried for the firefighters out there fighting. It was just a real intense time. So for me, there's some negative aspects of it too. I tend to have bad allergies. So this whole week, it was really hard to feel normal with the smoke in the air and stuff like that. But I'm grateful. My house didn't burn down. There's nothing to complain about. And finally, the smoke is all gone. The ash isn't here anymore. And, life moves on. But it was certainly a crazy time. And I really appreciate all the people that gave well wishes in the Facebook group and also when I posted here in the community tab. So anyways, I know this has nothing to do with WordPress, but it was just a real intense situation that I had to go through with my family. But anyways, we're grateful for firefighters that put their lives on the line. So I just wanted to give a quick update on that, and I'll make sure I have timestamps so people can skip it in the future. So I'm sure a lot of you guys might have experienced similar things like that, especially if you're in Australia or other parts of California. It was really an intense time. So anyways, guys, I'll get into it right now. Let me just get a sip of water and a sip of coffee for sure. Yes, lots of crazy stuff going on in the world. It was really one of those things where you're like, what is going on in the world? You know, we got this pandemic, we got these crazy fires, and there's lots of things going on. But I tell you, I gained a newfound respect for firefighters and what they end up doing. And the sacrifice they all made. There's firefighters. I'm in Southern California, in Northern California, San Francisco area. They just battled a huge fire like 2 or 3 months ago. They all drove all night long in their fire engines to come down here and help. It was really touching the way everything came together. So, okay, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into some of these cool WordPress stuff going on. And you guys are going to be in the know with it. First story is kind of boring anyway, but it's important to know what the heck happened this week. So, a lot of times people ask, is it safe to update WordPress? Now, they also ask, is it safe to update a theme or a plugin? And now that's a little iffy because these are individual development companies and sometimes they're not so disciplined and on top of it when it comes to updates. But WordPress has always released reliable updates. So if it's a major release or even a minor release, it's always been super reliable. And I've always been confidently able to say, of course, update WordPress. If there's an update, it's usually security or some feature enhancements, and it's always reliable. Well, like apparently not. So earlier this week, WordPress released a new update, and it was mostly security related. It was version 5.5.2. And I think it might have been maybe Tuesday or Wednesday they released it. Anyways, they released this update out, and I'm like, of course I'm going to update it. And, you know, it's always been so reliable. Well, what ended up happening for people is they were updating to this new version, and then it was automatically actually updating them to some kind of an alpha beta build of a future version of WordPress, which could be a disaster and wreak havoc on people's websites. Here's a story. There's been multiple stories about this. Here is a story that you can see on WordPress's website. I'm kind of careful which websites I share with these stories. So what it caused was an emergency release. So there was this update to 5.5.2 that was automatically updating people to some kind of a beta update. And so they rushed out the following day 5.5.3, which fixed this problem that was happening. So I saw a couple messages in the WPCrafter Facebook group about this. Hey, I automatically got updated to this. Don't update. But things were going so fast for me, I wasn't able to pay too much attention to it. However, this is actually kind of embarrassing because we really depend and rely on WordPress. If they're going to release an update, that thing's got to be rock solid. I mean, there's so much of the internet is revolving around it. But this time, they actually screwed up. So it just goes to show whenever there's an update, to be ultimately safe, you might just want to give it a day or two. That's probably a good best practice. If it's just you and your website, you can live on the wild side. I certainly do. I don't practice what I preach. If an update comes out, I just update. And a lot of reasons why is I have backups and I know I can easily fix things. But if you don't, want to deal with any kind of headaches, maybe you should give it a day or two. Definitely give it a day or two. But there's a new major version of WordPress right around the corner. So it's going to be 5.6. They just released a beta, but to be honest, there's nothing really exciting in it. I might make a video on it to cover the minor improvements that there are and changes. There will be some to Gutenberg, the block builder and all that. And there's a big change to WordPress itself, where the last update they made it to so you can auto update plugins and themes. Now you can auto update WordPress itself. So that's what's coming out soon. Nothing super exciting about WordPress coming out for the remainder of this year. All right, so that was WordPress screwed up. Okay, I can move on to the next one. Let me take a water. Now we're going to talk about some of the speed stuff right now. There's two different important things to talk about. All right. So on this channel, I've talked a lot about Cloudflare in the last couple months, and a lot of that has to deal with setting up content delivery networks. If you've been following the channel, you know what that is already. Also DNS, which is a little bit more complicated, and a lot of the tutorials related to DNS was mostly revolving around setting it up with Cloudways. So Cloudflare just recently had their 10-year birthday or anniversary or whatever you want to call it. Now, they did it in a really interesting way. They had multiple days where they announced new services. And one of those services is called Cloudflare APO. So what this is, and it's pretty exciting. Now, there's a cost to it, but I'm going to show you why you might not need APO in a moment, and why you could get the same thing as this for free. And that's what a lot of you guys turn to the channel for, is really clever things like this. So let me explain what APO, and actually let me just pull it up right here. So this was the announcement page for Cloudflare APO. And you can see they actually announced this on October 2nd of 2020. So APO stands for Automatic Platform Optimizations. And essentially what this is a plugin that ties into their service. You put the plugin on your website and it creates a 100% static version of your website. So that means when someone visits your website, your website doesn't need to connect into the database for your website, which really is the bottleneck of your page load speed, is that database, having to retrieve data out of a database. So this creates a 100% static, it's also referred to as a full page static version. And then it takes that version, it pushes it into Cloudflare, which then takes a copy of it and distributes it all around the world on their network. So what this means is when someone visits your website in wherever country or part of the world they're in, it's going to load a 100% static version from a server that's right next to them geographically. What this means is you have an incredibly fast website. The absolute lowest TTFB, which stands for time to first byte. That's the time it takes when someone types in your website address, hits enter, and then the website actually starts loading. So it delivers the absolute fastest, shortest TTFB. There's no calls back to your database. Basically, it's lightning fast. It can scale. It can handle a tremendous amount of load. Okay, I know that's all super, super technical. It's called APO. Now, Cloudflare, what they're doing is they're charging for this. Now, Cloudflare has, most Cloudflare users are on their free plans, including me. I only use their free plans. Now, APO is included in their paid plan, which is $20 per website. Most people aren't going to pay that. It's worth every penny, but most people aren't at a spot where the value is fully there. But if you want this APO, it's a $5 per month add-on. And when this first came out, there was a lot of chatter in the WP Crafter Facebook group about it. And people were trying it, and they saw their load time become dramatically faster. Their web page load time dramatically faster because that TTFB went down dramatically. And it's a great service. And it's not for every website. If you have a very dynamic website, meaning e-commerce is on there or an e-learning, it's not going to be ideal for that. It's going to be good for maybe like your brochure type of website. But it's a great service. Now, what's interesting though, I'm all over the internet. A lot of you guys know that. And so SiteGround has a Facebook group. Now's the part where I start telling you how you can get this APO for free or something very similar. And then we're going to actually do it in this live stream. So SiteGround has a plugin called SG Optimizer. Now, don't worry if you're not on SiteGround. I'm going to show you this for SiteGround, but there's actually another way of doing this regardless of your hosting. I'm going to show the SiteGround version of it because it's like a supported official thing now. So anyways, SiteGround customers, one of the benefits, and I've gone over this and I've made a video on SG Optimizer. It's their optimization plugin, which adds caching and it adds performance optimization settings to your website, and it's included. So basically, the way I talk about it is if you have SiteGround, you don't have to go and pay for a caching plugin like WP Rocket. It's included. It's one of kind of like those value added things for being a SiteGround user. So they just added a beta version of SG Optimizer that has this full page caching to Cloudflare, and you don't have to pay for the APO. You don't have to pay the $5 per month. It's all included. So let's go ahead and, I'm going to try to do this live, but there might be, when I enable the feature, it has to propagate around the world, and I don't know what that looks like, but we can test this later. Okay, so here is the SG Optimizer plugin. It's in the WordPress directory right here. And you can see a lot of people use it. It's a very popular plugin, but you need SiteGround's services to be using this. Now, there's an alternative I'll get to in a moment. Okay, so here is a WordPress. Now, what you have to do is, this is beta. It's not released yet, but I would imagine it's out in a week or two. It's version 5.7. You can see the active version right here is 5.6.8. So it's a beta version of this. You have to have Cloudflare already connected in with your hosting. Now, SiteGround makes it really easy. There's a little button you push and it connects into Cloudflare and does it all for you. So if you have that enabled, the plugin's going to know and it's going to make the option available. Okay, so I'm going to click right here where it says SG Optimizer, and you're going to see it's up there. It is good. We have the Cloudflare tab. I was going to say, there it is. And it says right here, full page caching on Cloudflare. I was going to be embarrassing if it didn't work. So this is it. Full page caching. Essentially, you don't need that APO service and it's all kind of included. So let's go ahead and give it a, let's live on the wild side and give it a shot. So let me go to GTMetrix really quick. And let's just do a speed test. Now, like I said, this site's probably already loading really fast, but, and there might be some time it takes to propagate. I'm doing this live. I haven't pre-tested this. So I'm assuming there might be a delay in the time that you actually see all these benefits. Okay, so let's just get a baseline right here. And this is without this new full page caching enabled. And it's actually okay. There's obviously room for improvement, but we're having A's across the board, and we only have 17 requests. It's already optimized because it's using Gutenberg and it's using the Kadence theme. Now, when I click on waterfall right here, you can see this is the TTFB typically right here, this first line, and you can see it might be kind of hard to see, but it's half a second. So half a second of this is taken by that TTFB. Now, Cloudflare APO says it can get that down to 55. So basically 55 versus 500. So basically it can dramatically speed it up. So anyways, let's go ahead and turn this thing on and see what happens. See what we can break. All right. So let me go into the settings for SG Optimizer. And then I'm going to click right here where it says Cloudflare. And there it is. It says Cloudflare full page caching. And I'll just read it and we're going to turn this sucker on. It says this option will enable full page caching on your Cloudflare CDN edges. This will reduce the load on your SiteGround server and improve the loading speed of your pages because by default, Cloudflare's Cloudflare only caches your static resources. So essentially this will cache everything. So when someone visits your site, they're not even hitting Cloudways. I'm sorry, SiteGround. Okay, so let's turn it on. Okay, it's kind of scary. So let's see. Hopefully, oh, it looks like I have to do some settings here for the setup. Well, that kind of stinks. I should have maybe tested this in advance. All right, so it says right here, email used with Cloudflare, and I need to get my Cloudflare API. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do that in a live stream, but I am going to log in right now to it on a different browser, and let's turn it on. Let's go Cloudflare. And I'm going to get the API key. All right, let's see here. This is the joys of having it be a live stream. Now, what SG Optimizer did was nothing like revolutionary. And what I mean by that is there's already a free plugin in the repository in the WordPress plugin directory that does this same thing. The only reason I've never talked about it is because it's just from a random person and it's only being used on like maybe 10,000 websites. So I like that SG Optimizer is doing this. And as a matter of fact, I think I'll reach out to Cloudways and ask them to include this functionality in their free caching solution, which is called Breeze. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my API key. I'm trying to get it right now. Let's see here. Just bear with me a moment. I'm doing a CAPTCHA. I hate those new CAPTCHAs that will say, please click, that will show different images. And the one I'm looking at is of a bus. So I've got to choose all the buses. All right, bus. That looks like 3 buses. Let's go. Come on, more buses. All right, that's a bus. And that's a big car, but not a bus. Please let me get it. Okay. CAPTCHAs are the most annoying thing. All right, here's my API key. And I'm going to fill that out. And then I'm going to bring the screen back. I'm clicking Authenticate. I'm clicking on Confirm. And let's see, hopefully... Okay, good. It doesn't show my API key. You want to protect your API keys and stuff like that. So, all right. So now I've turned it on. I just put my email address in for my Cloudflare account, and there was a little link I could click on, and it would take me straight into Cloudflare as long as I was logged in, and I could get my API key and copy and paste it across. So it says right here, now it says I've successfully authenticated. And if I want to turn it off, I can click on this link right here or turn it off right here. All right, and if there's ever a time where I want to purge it, I can click right here to purge it. I don't know how long this is going to take to actually fully go into effect. There's not a ton of content on this website right here. You can see on the homepage, there's just a few images and stuff like that. All right. Let's give it a shot on GTMetrix. Maybe I'll go ahead and give it another test later. So we're looking at maybe 2 seconds here. I'd be surprised if we had a big difference right away. It might take a few hours, but let's give it a shot. And while I do that, let me go here to the plugin directory and see if it's possible to find that other plugin. So I forget the name of it. Someone might know the name. So here's the official one. It might be this Cloudflare Super Page Cacher. Let's see. This might be it right here. So let's see. Cloudflare Super Page Cacher. I'm sure this is it. So basically what SiteGround did, yeah, the cache everything rule. So these have more steps involved where Cloudflare APO makes it easy and SiteGround makes it easy, but I'd like to see maybe WP Rocket add this, or some of the more premium different caching solutions make it point and click easy. Let's go back here, and okay, so we haven't seen the big difference yet. 0.3 of a second isn't that much of a significant change, but I'll go ahead and test this. Oh, actually, look at this. This is actually a big change. So here is what's called the TTFB, the time to first byte. Just a second ago, it was half a second. So that was 505 milliseconds. Sorry to get all like geeky here. After doing this, and I don't know if this is actually it went from 505 down to 146. So that time to first byte shrunk down significantly. We'll go ahead and test this later. Now, this is actually a really clever way to have your website load even faster regardless of your hosting. But what it makes it nice that it's now going to be part of SiteGround's SG Optimizer plugin. So I'll have to make an updated video on the SG Optimizer plugin. And like I said, if you're not using SiteGround, don't worry about it, because there's that alternative way. I probably wouldn't use that, but I would imagine now we'll see this more and more with other types of caching solutions. Maybe we'll see it in WP Rocket. We'll ask them. Maybe we'll see it in Breeze, which is a free caching solution from Cloudways. God, Cloudflare, Cloudways, I get so confused with this all this stuff. So it's pretty interesting stuff. Let me look to see if there's any kind of questions on this. Stream is kind of boring, man. Can you add some music in the back? No, sorry. All right. Antonio saying my SG doesn't show that option. It's a beta version, and it's not fully released yet. And I just got my hands on the beta version yesterday. Sorry if the stream is kind of boring. It is what it is. It's just information in a fast-paced format. Okay. Let's see. So I don't know. Oh, thank you. You mentioned the name of the alternative, Cloudflare Super Page Cache. Yes, people seem to love it. It's a little more technical to set up. You saw what I did with Cloudflare right there. On the SG Optimizer, I just needed the API, toggled the switch, and it's set, and we'll test it again later today. And I'll leave this website up. It's letscreateanewwebsite.com, and you can do your own testing from around the world. The real benefit of this is, though, if you have a global audience, meaning you have people from around the world visiting your website, it's going to load insanely fast regardless of where people are, because it's not even really touching SiteGround. It doesn't really use up your SiteGround resources. So it's pretty exciting stuff that's there. All right. Here's another person, Charlie. It's a beta. If you're on Facebook, SiteGround has a Facebook group that their main community guy, you see him all over. He's kind of like the public face of SiteGround. He posted in their Facebook group a link to it. And so I saw that and I thought, man, this is going to be interesting. I got to test this myself. So for all you SiteGround users, now let's just get the elephant out of the room. There's been a ton of SiteGround hate this year, and I will address some of it right now. There's some things that you guys might not even know about. So as to this year, SiteGround increased their prices. They also, how much it was pretty significant. I think it's like a 40% price increase, but they have that front end discount. So they did that. Coronavirus really hit them hard as far as an influx of business, and it was hard to keep up with support. So some of their quality of support went down. It's now back up. In fact, I reached out to their support today in preparation for this video, and they were super helpful. So, but they did take a ding earlier this year, although I think support levels have returned to normal. When they did increase the price, they did also increase the resources for each of the hosting accounts. And in fact, they recently added something that they haven't even announced. They increased the inode level. An inode is essentially a file that you have on their hosting, and they increased those limits as well. So now you can have more websites on their hosting account. They moved to the Google Cloud, so their entire infrastructure is in the Google Cloud. They've done a lot of changes. They just announced a really big change that is going to affect a lot. And it's not really public information yet. They're essentially pulling out of certain countries. And I don't have the list in front of me. And strangely enough, one of those countries happens to be India. So if you're in India, you're not going to be able to get Cloudways services. I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to get SiteGround services if you're in India. And I think they did the same thing in the Philippines. I don't actually understand the reasons behind that. And it does make me uncomfortable that they did do that. But that's coming in a few months. They're pulling out of certain countries. So they're staying, of course, in Americas. That's North and South America. They're staying throughout the EU, Australia, Asian countries. So some of the Asian countries they're staying in as well. But they're pulling out of some of these countries. Anyways, that's kind of awkward. Anyways, let's move forward. I hope you enjoyed that. That's pretty interesting stuff, this full page caching. I'm going to follow along with the story, and as the tools become easier, I'm going to have some content around it. And that's stuff that other YouTubers probably won't touch because it tends to be kind of technical, but I have a way of making these technical things within the grasp of anybody. And I like the stuff that makes websites load faster because I think you guys do as well. Okay, let's go into some other news. Let me see. All right. You know, this year, 6 months ago, I started talking about a brand new WordPress theme. At the time, it was so brand new, it wasn't even the word inside of the WordPress theme directory, and that was the Kadence theme. It happens to be the most full-featured free WordPress theme, and the reason I like free solutions that don't hold back is not because I want everything for free. It's more that I think it opens up opportunities for people regardless of your economic situation around the world. And that's something that the Kadence theme absolutely does. They have a full-featured header builder, footer builder, easy drag and drop, as well as they don't hold back font options and color options and all that. It has this very clever, globally linked color palette. Most people don't actually get the real benefit of that. It's kind of like how Elementor recently launched their global colors and everything links to it, and you can change colors across your entire website in a few mouse clicks. Well, Kadence Theme has that. And what's pretty exciting is it's finally going to be added to the WordPress theme directory probably this week. They're now saying this week, not Kadence Theme, but WordPress. It's a long process. It's like a 6-month process to get your theme actually added to the directory because there's multiple reviews back and forth that goes on. And it's finally going to be added to the WordPress directory this week. In fact, they actually just updated their theme thumbnail. They had an update out today for that, or it might have come out yesterday. And so let me show you right here. This is the new thumbnail for the theme. So this is just giving you an indication that it's about to be in the theme directory. And you can see the version, it says 0.9.9. When it is in the theme directory, it's going to be version 1 of the theme. Although it'll be interesting to see the stats of the theme. When you have your theme in the WordPress theme directory, what they do is they can track how many websites are actually using that particular theme. My guess is it's going to either be 10 or 20,000 active websites that the theme is on. It's probably right at that 20,000 mark, but it'll be interesting to see. And you can see here's the thumbnail for it. But there's some really interesting changes to the theme that if you're using this theme or you're interested in templates that you're going to be excited to see. So I'm going to show you some of that stuff right now. They added a feature recently, if we can go back to this, making your website load faster. One of the things is your website uses fonts, right? And most websites are using Google fonts. And when you're using Google fonts and someone visits your website, those fonts are being downloaded from Google. And a speed optimization trick is to have those fonts load locally. So instead of someone visiting the site and then it retrieves them from Google, instead the fonts are actually on your site, which gives you greater control, and it will actually improve some of your speed scores. Well, Kadence Theme added a one-click option to load Google fonts locally, and it's very easy, and it's inside of the customizer. So I'm going to click on customize. Let me just show you this real quick. It's a great enhancement. Now there's also a plugin in the WordPress directory that allows you to do this, but in my testing it's always been unreliable. I've never been able to get the plugin to work, but it just works seamlessly here with the theme. So I'm going to click on General, and I'm going to click down here where it says Performance, and these are our performance options. And it says right here, load Google fonts locally. And I can toggle this on. I can click on Publish. And now what it's going to do is it's going to see all the fonts that you're using, that you have configured in the theme, and it's going to download them locally to your website. And if you're using a content delivery network, it'll distribute those on your content delivery network. There's someone entering the same letter in the comments. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe I'll have to ban them if they don't stop. It's just weird what they're doing. So sorry about that. All right, here we go. And now these fonts are being loaded locally. So here is a speed test I did just a moment ago. And if I click on waterfall and I scroll down, you can see right here a list where it says domain, and you can see these three right here are font files being loaded on from Google. So it's not on your website, it's the Google fonts that are being loaded. So now when I do the test again, these will instead be loaded locally just by toggling that switch on. A lot of people that are into optimizing the performance of their website swear by this. And now you have a real easy way to toggle the switch on and have that for you. It's pretty great. So that's number one. Now another exciting, that's in the free Kadence theme. Now another exciting thing that the Kadence theme is doing is they are heavily investing in templates, building out an impressive template library with the highest quality templates compared to any other theme that is providing templates. Now, the added benefit is because they have the globally linked color palette. And what that means is, let me show you an example of one of their templates. These aren't the templates that are coming out. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at them. But if I click right here where it says Starter Templates, what you could do is, let me just click on this one. When you import it, because there's this globally linked color palette, you can change the entire color scheme right before you import it, and it affects the entire website. And if there isn't one that you like, you can go into the customizer and you can change these colors, and it changes across your entire website. This type of functionality is going to be added to their new templates. So what they are going to be releasing in the month of November is their Kadence Starter Templates plugin is being completely rewritten to enable Elementor templates and Gutenberg-based templates. You'll be able to import individual page templates. And when you import an individual page template, you're going to have the option of having it inherit the styles that you have in your customizer. So when you click on import, it will automatically adopt the colors you've set in the customizer and the fonts you've set in the customizer, essentially making templates useful again. That is the problem with templates. You add it to your website and you have to individually change the color in every single spot the color is set on it. And then you have to do the same thing for your typography. So a template actually means more work for you. However, the way that Kadence is implementing it, you won't have those hurdles. You can change all of your font options in the customizer and your colors, and it will change across your website. Really cool stuff. But let me go ahead and show you two of the templates that they have been teasing. And one of them is going to be for an individual business professional, and the other one's going to be e-commerce. And I have to say, I've looked at the templates from every other theme, and nothing is comparing to the quality of these. All right, so here's one of them right here, and this is kind of for a real estate agent, but this could be adapted to anyone. We have this big, and this is going to be free, by the way. So I'm not like telling you to go buy anything because there's nothing to buy. This is going to be free, and this will be made for Elementor, and it's going to be made for Gutenberg. I do not know what's going on in the live stream here. You know what? Actually, let's pause the live stream, and I'm going to ban. I think I have the ability to ban these people. So sorry, I've never had to do this in the middle of a live stream, but I'm going to do it right now because they are being disruptive. So I am going in. All right. Sorry about this, guys. If you are in here. Okay, so let's see. Here's one person, and I am, I can put the person, I'm actually just going to hide the user from the entire stream. So they're gone. And okay, okay, this other person, I am going to hide them from the channel. And so now all their stuff is gone. And I think I just got rid of them. I think they are now gone. Okay, sorry. So those two people that were posting messages that didn't make any sense, they are now gone. And if I see it pop up again, I'll go ahead and get rid of them. Sorry, guys. That was kind of weird. I've never had a problem on these streams. I mean, everyone's respectful. We keep it clean. You know, we don't... it's just a great, safe, respectable place, and so now they're gone. So we can have it back again. All right, they're gone. Drop the ban hammer, as they say. Okay, so here's a site, and it's kind of made for a real estate agent, but it can be adapted to any like individual business professional. So say you're an insurance agent, you can adapt it to that. There's all these different ways that you can adapt this. So this is the first one, and then I'm going to show you the e-commerce one. And this is just beautiful. I like this. It's leveraging the transparent header feature. Right here, we're using the header builder. So if you wanted to use this, you would change your colors and typography, change out this image, change out that image, and it's already great for an individual business professional. Now this one, being that it's kind of made for a real estate agent, it has this grid here of property listings, and I'll show you what those look like in a moment. And you can scroll down. We have this right here. We have some nice little animation effects. Here's a list of services, and you can tell me, I mean, this is beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful, the way this is designed. Okay, and all this is easily customizable, by the way. All right, so it's a full site, so I can actually click, I think I can click on this listing here. I probably should have pulled it up in advance, and it's going to pull it all up. Beautifully designed property listing. Obviously, if you're not a realtor or you don't have realtor clients, you're not going to use this part of it, but that's okay. So we have a services page right here that's easily adaptable. And you can see we list out the services. And we have, scrolling gallery image down there. We have an about page. We have a contact page. The contact page is using Fluent Forms, by the way. I'll show you that in a moment. Here's a team page, beautiful team page. And then lastly, let me just show you actually contact and then blog, and we'll take a look at that. So the contact page has Fluent Form for the contact form, and that's what will be used for the Elementor version of it will be using Fluent Form, and the Gutenberg version of it will be using Kadence Blocks form. And you can see it's all perfectly styled in. Last, let me show you the blog. The blog is being fully done with Kadence because it has a wonderful blog grid feature, and you can see that right there. All right, next, I love this design. The design looks beautiful. Next, right here is the e-commerce, and we have the e-commerce right here. So it's using some of the Kadence features where up here we are using the above header for a notification area. This is great for e-commerce where you can advertise your sale. You can advertise, a lot of people had a banner about COVID, their COVID policies for local businesses that visit with businesses. So we're using that. You can easily turn it off. This is using the free theme, by the way. Oh, we got another one. Hold on. All right. See, I'm going to be really quick with this. Sorry, hide user from channel. And they are gone now. Wow. I don't know what this is. These must be bots. I'm thinking they're bots. Sorry, guys. All right. It's a good thing I had it pulled up. And if it happens again, I'll just do it again. So this is just using the free Kadence theme, by the way, and the template's going to end up being free. So we got this hero area over here. I really like this design where you have the kind of the main highlights of the business, which about the main information someone's going to want when they're going to purchase. They want to know what's the money back guarantee, what is the ship time, you know, do I pay for shipping, things along that name, how's customer service work. And then we got this grid here of product categories. Then we have a nice little spot right here for more information. Here is a list of the products, and these this is just using the WooCommerce features of showing a product grid. And then we have a final call to action, and then we have some testimonials down here, and then of course an Instagram feed. Let me go ahead and click on the shop page, and then I'll click into an individual product, and then we can move on. So here is your shop page. You can see all of this right here. It leverages all the Kadence features of the theme. Let's go ahead and take a look at this particular product right here. I like the simplicity of it, and here's the product page. Right here. These are two of the features I really like in the free Kadence theme is you can have these kind of like selling bits right here. So we have these 3 bullet points. We have this notice here of free shipping and then this safe checkout right here. This is a feature that you only see in the Kadence theme. You're not seeing in other themes right now. They all tend to copy it. So it's just beautiful. One click, you're going to be able to have this on your website as soon as they launch the updated version of Kadence Starter Templates, and it's a free plugin. So as soon as they add that update, you're going to be able to have these and more. Right now, they're also working on course creator ones. So basically, you can see they've leveled up their design. So even though I liked the simple designs in their starter templates right here, I do think they were a little too basic for my tastes. But they were good enough, and now you can see this shift of focus into design, into making some of the best templates that I think you're going to end up seeing. I have looked at them all, and design is very subjective, right? Design is very subjective. I think I have a good eye for design. I can tell when that's like a lazy design. They didn't really put a lot of effort. They're just wanting to have lots of starter templates because for numbers, but I don't see anyone actually using it. These are things I actually see people using. And so they've got 2 course creator ones being created right now. And they've got a local business one being created, so it will be adaptable to any kind of a local business. And you saw the real estate agent, that's kind of one that can be adapted to the individual business owner, where it kind of revolves around your personality. Think realtor, think insurance agent, consultant of some sort. So it's really useful and practical templates. And they have a list of them that they are going to be building out. So they have the capacity to be releasing 1 solid template per week once they release the new updated version of Kadence Starter Templates, and it's going to be free. They also, of course, are going to have a premium version of Kadence Starter Templates that the templates are leveraging the products in their membership bundle. So you're going to see more advanced websites that are leveraging those features. But everything I showed you, you got to admit, it's amazing, it's beautiful, and it's going to be free. And when you add that on, it's just a door opener for people. So I'm excited about what they're doing. I like to see that they are taking what their users are saying and the revenue generated from the launch sale that they had, and they're just dumping it into making the product better. Not product better, the product's already fantastic, but they're dumping it into making it easier to use their products. How about that? Another interesting thing I'm not going to show you because I don't have it loaded up, but if you're in the WP Crafter Facebook group, I posted a video on this, but it's preliminary. In this, they're going to try to time to release with the Kadence Starter Templates update, and that is for you Elementor users. You know, Elementor has the global color palette. And so what the theme's going to do when they release the update is when you set the colors inside of the theme, it's going to inject them into the Elementor global color palette and keep them in sync with the theme. So it's going to be so much easier to set up and use Elementor. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much easier. And that's how they're going to pull off having it so when you go to import the site, you can just click a button to change your colors site-wide. That's how they're going to pull it off. No other theme is doing this right now. There's only one other theme that I'm aware of that has a globally linked color palette. They have global color palettes, but that just makes it easier to select a color. It doesn't link it. This links it, so you can go and change the color in one spot. It changes everywhere on your website. That's the big difference. You have to see it to experience it. But I like that they're doing this, and that's coming to just the normal Kadence theme. And I can't wait to start making some videos on these templates. Anyways, so that's the stuff going on with Kadence. There's other things going on that are not coming top of mind. I got a little list here. I showed you the performance boost with the Google fonts, and I talked about the repo listing, and I talked about the starter templates. All right. So I guess the comments stream has been pretty normal. Let's see if someone comes back any minute. Okay, good. I got rid of most of those guys. It's going to make it hard for me to pull up your comments later. All right. Next. Okay, this is actually really cool stuff. Okay. So let me pull it up really quick. And all right. As some of you guys know that are consistently watching the videos on the channel and you don't miss a thing, or you're in the WP Crafter Facebook group, you know that I'm dipping my toe into arranging lifetime deals on WordPress products that are high quality and just getting a really good deal for it locked in, and these are limited time offers. The first one of these was early, what was it, last month? Or was it, yeah, it was in September, I think. It was for Uncanny Automator, and it's a great product, and it was a strict lifetime deal. It had its start date, its end date, and it's probably never coming back. I'm actually saying that, unfortunately, because I know someone was asking about it. It's probably never coming back. Probably, I would say 99.9% never coming back. And it was a great deal. It just cost, a lifetime license cost a tiny bit more than an annual license. So it was a no-brainer deal. And the people that bought it are just thrilled to have gotten that deal. Well, I got another one, and we launched it on Monday. Now, here on the YouTube channel, I only made the first video about it yesterday, and this is Spotlight Instagram Feed. And let me just go over the quick details of it right here and answer any questions that you might have about it and tell you some of the content I'm making for this week around this. So you can get here the links in the video description. You can go to WPCrafter.com/spotlightwp. It's going to take you here. Now, this was actually supposed to end on Monday, but I said because of the fire, I had to evacuate my house and I couldn't make any videos on it. So the first video was actually at the worst time ever yesterday, like late in the day. So you might have missed it. Anyways, so it's just 7 days are left, and this is going to be a hard cutoff. It's going to be on November 6th. And so the pricing's down here. A 3-site license is $99. And then there's a 10-site for $149 and a 100-site for $224. It's a lifetime license, lifetime of updates, 3 years of support, just like I did with the Uncanny Automator deal. And what this does is it allows you to take content from Instagram and put it on your website, and you can do so much more than that with it. Now, it's funny, when I first announced this in the WP Crafter Facebook group, there was 2 people that said, this is just some overpriced way of getting Instagram in your website. There's a dozen Elementor plug add-ons that have an Instagram module and all that. They just weren't grasping what this does and where it's different, because it's totally different. Yes, if you use Elementor and you have an add-on package that does have an Instagram widget, all that essentially does is pull in your photos from Instagram, your photos and your photos only. It doesn't give you any of the control that you can have when using this, such as a hashtag feed. So what you can do with this is you can actually have as many Instagram accounts connected to your site that you want. And then there's 3 different feed types. You don't get any of that when you're using like an Elementor module or some simple solution for this. So the 3 different feed types are, you can have your own account photos. You can have a hashtag feed of your own photos. So this is ideal if you're, say, a business that has different services. And you could take pictures or videos and put it on your Instagram account and hashtag it with that service name. And then on your website, you could separate it based upon the hashtag. And so you can do that with this. And you can also have a hashtag feed from anyone's Instagram account. So I was showing a few examples. Actually, here, let me show it. So I was screwing around with the plugin right here. I created a yoga hashtag feed. I created a kitchen hashtag feed for, say, a business that does kitchen remodeling. So let me go to show you the kitchen one. This is what I actually used for the video yesterday that I posted. And so it's pulling up the photos right now. And so why is this doing this? I wonder if it's because my thing is not secure here. Let me go ahead and click in the feed. So there's 3 different types of feeds. That's my website. There's 3 different types of feeds that you can have using this. Now, a basic Instagram feed doesn't give you the following. So you can see you can design it however you want. You can have it be in a grid. You can have it be, the typical grid layout. I did the kind of the carousel layout where you just have them all side by side. But what we get here as well is we get a filter. So we can filter the photos, we can moderate the photos. So say I don't want a particular photo in the feed, like I don't know what this is there for. Now it's gone. Okay. Now where some of the real benefits are is the promote option. So with the promote option, what I'm able to do is decide what happens when someone clicks on the image. Someone clicks on the image, I can take them to a different location on my website. So say I have a lot of photos about a particular service that I offer. Well, what happens is I can have it when someone clicks on the image, it can take them to a page where they can buy that service or inquire about that service or get some more specifics about that service. I can do that. I can also have it be where when someone clicks on the image, it pulls up in a light box, and then there's a little call to action there. Find out more about this service. I can do this, and I can do it in an automated fashion. So when I click on promotions right here, I can automate that. So what that means is if I'm putting pictures from my own feed and I'm separating them by hashtag, based upon the different services that I offer, I can set it so whenever I upload a photo and it has that particular hashtag, it'll automatically apply a promotional rule, which will mean maybe I have an Instagram post and it has 5 pictures of a recent job I just did. And so I want it to be when someone is on my website and they click on the image, it pulls up in a light box, they can scroll through those photos. But then it will say on the bottom right of that light box, more information on this service or whatever you want it to say, and then they can click on it and then it takes them to a specific service page on your website. There's just so many useful uses for the Instagram feed plugin that makes it easier and more practical for the busy entrepreneur, the busy business owner to keep fresh content on their website, because all you need is just pull out your phone and take a picture and then send it right off to Instagram. Put your hashtag in and it gets all separated and parsed out. That's any business owner can do that. So it helps you to maintain a human connection with your website visitors because you're posting these pictures. Have current information as well, and it also helps you build credibility. So if you have, say you're an author, and I actually have a book coming out, so I'll be an author next year. And so when my book comes out, I'm going to ask people to take a picture holding the book and put it on Instagram and put the hashtag, the name of the book. Well, then I can create a feed using Spotlight Instagram feed. I can create this feed and it will be based upon that hashtag. So any post on Instagram with that hashtag, pull that in and show that. And that's the ultimate social proof. I'm be able to show that people are buying the book. They like the book. They're taking pictures with the book. There must be something about this book. It's that social proof, that credibility. So a product like this allows you or your clients to do 3 things. Have a better connection with the people that visit your website. Have a current information on your website, so it looks like it's a current website, not something that's been abandoned, which sadly is most websites, as well as build more credibility. It's really clever in the ways that you can do it. So what I'm actually doing this week, and I'd like to have it out by Wednesday, maybe Monday. Tuesday, I'm probably not going to do anything because of the election here in the U.S. And people are just going to be distracted. So I don't like talking about politics, especially on the channel. I will not touch that subject. It's too dangerous. But I'm going to have a video on how to make an Instagram-powered website. And it's going to have different services for the business, and it's going to be parsed out and separated by hashtags and stuff like that. And we're going to use all of these features, the promote feature, the automation feature. We're going to make these look totally custom and sweet, and it's going to be a totally Instagram powered website. I think it'll be a fun video, but I'm going to obviously use Spotlight WP. So the deal is available right now. It expires in, let's actually pull that up really quick. And see, where was it? And then I'll do another speed test on that website. I turned on the local font loading. Okay, so this expires on the 6th. That's a Friday. It's a week. This upcoming Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific. It's going to expire. And it's a good deal. Let me show you the normal pricing. So these are lifetime pricing. So, but if I went to normal prices right here, you can see a single site is $49. So the lowest plan is 3 sites for $99. So it's a huge savings. And their highest plan is $199 for 20 websites. It's pretty good stuff here. All right. If you're interested in that, you'll definitely want to check out the video I posted yesterday on the channel to learn more about it. All right, last story. Let me see if there's any questions about this, and then the last story. And this is actually pretty interesting. Let's see. All right, those spammers are gone. I don't know if they were spammers, but maybe someone left their elbow on their keyboard. It was definitely disruptive to the live stream. All right, and I've got the last thing, and this is actually really cool, but it's not for everyone, but it's really cool. Sorry, we got a question here from Charlie. Charlie is saying, will you get the video out before the offer runs out? Yes, I will, because I want people to, oh, and there's another good question next I want to answer. Yeah, because I want to have the video show people the possibilities of it. Here's the thing. Here's the way I see it. This is an amazing tool that makes it practical for everyone has the same challenge with their website. And that is staying current and having it build credibility for you and have it build a deeper connection. And you know what? Most websites completely, utterly fail and flop right on their face when it comes to these three things. And then when you mix in, I'm a busy entrepreneur, how am I going to have a social media profile and how does that even benefit me? You can wrap all that in and solve all those problems with this plugin. So if you're a local business, there's so many, or if you have clients, you could totally upsell this with clients like it's nobody's business, right? Because it's now an easy way for them. They're never going to log into their website, but it's an easy way for them to take their phones, or their staff to take their phones and post pictures of their work, post pictures of them maybe saying little snippets, because you can post videos, little bits of information about their business and what they do, or maybe some trends that are related to their type of business. So an insurance agent, you know what they should have been doing? They should have been whipping out their phone, making little videos on fire insurance, right? Because there's a lot of people that were looking into their fire insurance policies during the recent fires that I had to go through. So anyways, there's just some interesting stuff with that. I'm going to answer one question, and then I'm going to get on to the last story, which is really cool. And this is from Sean. He's saying, Adam, when are you going to launch your next plugin? Looking forward to it. A lot of you guys know, because I've been saying repeatedly, that I have a new plugin coming out, and it is a local ordering system. So it essentially allows you to turn any WordPress website into a local ordering system. And the easiest way to understand what that is a restaurant, right? But it's applicable to so many more businesses. And it's going to make it super easy for any business to add local ordering to their website, where the purchasers can schedule a pickup time, or get it delivered. And this would be for any type of business. It's exciting plugin. I'm so excited about it. We're coming down to the wire. We really want to get this out in November before Black Friday, because it's a distracting time with Black Friday. And we're going to have a free version, and then we're going to have a pro version. The free version is going to be pretty full featured. There's one big feature it's not going to have, which is add-ins or add-ons or add-ins, add-ins or add-ons. And what that is in the restaurant example, say I want to buy a pizza, I click on the pizza to choose the different toppings and stuff like that. That's add-ons or add-ins. That's going to be a feature in the pro version, not in the free version. But in the free version, there's going to be time slots. In the pro version, you're going to be able to control the order flow, the pickup flow. There's going to be all this great stuff that it does. And ultimately, the bigger vision for the plugin is to have it be a complete solution. So it'll have a built-in rewards system, gift card system, and all these types of things. And have different ways to increase sales. So I'm excited about it. It's coming out next month. I'll reveal we finally nailed the name of it. It was so hard to pick a name. The name I wanted, we couldn't have. So we finally came up with a new name after so much deliberation on choosing a name. It's very hard to choose a name. Okay, so I'm going to do one last story, and then we will go ahead and look through the questions and stuff like that. Let me take a sip of water, though. This is actually exciting, what I'm going to show you. Some of you guys might already know, and it doesn't apply to everyone, but it's something everyone should be aware of. All right. So one of the questions that gets asked many times is, how do I turn my website into a mobile app? To be honest, in most situations, I don't really see the benefit of it, because I look at myself as a user. Would I want a mobile app relating to your website? Most likely not. I don't mind going to your website and looking at the blog if that's the only constant stream of information. But I do think there are certain types of websites that could drastically benefit from having a mobile app. And these are websites where there's a constant stream of new information coming in, or they're websites where they need to keep a communication line open with the people that visit that website. And this would probably be in an app through those notifications that an app can send. There's actually a name for it, I forget. So the type of website that comes to mind is an online community website or an online course website that has a community aspect. I don't think an online course website actually needs an app. I think it benefits it though, but I do think an online community website definitely can benefit from an app. In this channel, I've talked about a theme called the BuddyBoss theme. And the BuddyBoss theme allows you to easily add this online community to your website. And it's just like Facebook. You know, Facebook has groups and people can comment and there's profiles and there's user accounts and there's all that. But they do that. But then they also add in other things, messaging. They also add in online learning. It's compatible with LearnDash and Lifter LMS. And I think they're adding another one soon. So BuddyBoss is a very impressive platform. It's the best in what it does. In fact, it's the website theme that I have on WPCrafter right now. It's very unique in what it does. Well, this week, they finally took the veil off of their new app service. It's kind of like a service platform that basically can take your BuddyBoss website and turn it into a fully custom native mobile app. And there's a link in the video description box to it. Now, this is going to be for anyone interested in having their own online community. So this would be people already using BuddyBoss, or people that want this and might not maybe want it with their website. Because what's exciting is you can actually have it just be an app and not have it be part of your website. I know it might be a little confusing. However, you'll want to visit the link. It's WPCrafter.com/BB app, and I have it, a link down below. And you're going to want to watch this video by Tom. Tom's a nice guy. By the way, a lot of these product owners where I'm really interested in their product, I talk to them. We might have a call every now and then. I talk to Tom maybe every other month. We've had a phone call. He's a great guy, and he explains this in detail. But this is going to allow you to take your existing BuddyBoss site, turn it into a fully mobile native app that is your branding and you fully control. It includes all the messaging, the notifications, all that kind of stuff. It pulls in the e-learning. It does all of this. And what's neat is the way it works is their app platform stays in sync with your website, and there's this push and pull of data. So when a user is using your app, it's not putting load on your website. There is a little push and pull of data, but it's not like when someone's on your website loading pages. So anyways, here's the app. There's a ton of information of all the different WordPress plugins that it integrates with, all the different features that it brings to the table. You'll definitely want to check this out. There is a test flight version of it that you can test out. I will probably maybe make a video and upload it maybe on Monday or so, showing you the actual app. So I have the test flight version. You can see, I'm gonna show you here in a moment. Actually, I don't even know how this would actually look. So there you can see, there's the login screen. And when I go to log in, let me see what it shows. So this is just the demo. You can see right here, and I can scroll. You can see the navigation options there on the bottom. And let's see. So I can have my news feed, and it's literally just like Facebook right here, you know, a full-on news feed that you can have. And you can do all the learning. So I can click on the More tab. And when I click on the More tab, you can see I have all these options available. I can go into forums. I can go into my courses. So I can tap on courses. And the course interface is absolutely beautiful. And it allows you to actually download the course, which is kind of a trip. So I can go into a course, and this is what the course index page looks like. You can see, I mean, they're really good at user interface design. I don't actually have access to a course that has a video, but this is like a course lesson right here. And when I scroll down, you can see it looks like this one is already marked complete. Anyways, I know I'm not doing it justice by shoving my phone in front of the camera, but it's very interesting. We have the user forum right here. So there's different user forums that you can scroll through. And let's see, when I tap into one, this is one of them, and then there's the discussions. Anyways, it's slick. It's slick. Oh, here's a great question. Do you know coding? Maybe if you're asking me if I know coding, if it's related to this app, you don't need to know coding for the app. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into more information. Like I said, I preface this. This is not going to be for everyone. It totally makes sense if you have an online course website because there is a monthly cost to this. Okay, so here it talks about the courses. In-app purchasing, you do have to pay the Apple tax or the Google tax when you're selling stuff in the app. There's no getting around that. Okay, here's what it works with, all the major plugins. Make it fun and engaging, gamification. Okay, control and flexibility. So it basically, the way it works is it's a plugin that you install on your website to build it all out, and then it gets pushed out to them. And this is the interesting part. Your website is actually optional. So you can use this without having the BuddyBoss theme on your website if you just want to add the community aspect to it. And that's where it says right here, it'll work with any theme, including the Kadence theme. I like that they put the logo there. All right, and you can translate it. You can do some stuff, crazy stuff with it. Let's get to the pricing, kind of cut to the chase. I said this isn't for everyone. Now, if you're familiar with how much these turn your website into an app platforms cost, it's right in line. The pricing is right in line with them, with those prices. So if you're going to have a single app, and these are pre-launch prices, they say are going to go up. I don't know what they're going to go up to. So if you have a single app, it's going to be $125 per month. If you're an agency or something like that, and you're doing this as a solution for your clients, and there's a lot of people doing that, it's $4.99 for 10 apps. So it brings the cost down significantly. And on these other plans here, the 2, 5, and 10, if you are a developer, you have a developer and you want to do some customizations to the app, you have developer access to it to be able to do that. Anyways, so this is the BuddyBoss app. I know the pricing, it's actually, if you have an online community, it's not sticker shock. It shouldn't be sticker shock because the cost to develop a mobile app is astronomical. It is just astronomical. And if you look at some of the online tools that will turn your website into an app, the pricing is very similar to this. So I don't think the cost is sticker shock to people that have looked into getting something like this done for them. It's not sticker shock at all. And it's your app. It's not like there's another platform. Let me tell you about it. You could look it up. It's called Mighty Networks. And Mighty Networks, you don't have your own custom app. You're using the Mighty Networks app, which is not ideal if you're asking me. And that is not far off from these prices, Mighty Networks. There's other examples like that. So anyways, that is the BuddyBoss app. I wanted to mention it. I think when I do make a video, I'll make it so my phone is displayed in the video and we can go through it and take a look at it. And I'll tell you, the sales of this have been astronomical. I messaged Tom, I'm like, how are people receiving this? And it's been amazing. It's been very amazing. I know a lot of people that are using BuddyBoss. If you're using BuddyBoss, it's kind of like, of course you would do this. But if you're not into having an online community, if you're not trying to build that, this isn't really for you. But I wish there was more affordable solutions. This pricing I think is right on, but just general solutions for people that want to turn their website into an app for other purposes. But like I said, I don't think it really fits for most scenarios. I don't even think it fits for my website. Maybe I'll change my mind later in the future. All right. Let me say one last thing about this is it's not like you buy today, you don't get it today. It actually doesn't launch until January, I think. But you can get the pre-launch prices right now, and you'll be first in line to actually use it. All right, I'm going to take a sip of the coffee, scroll through your comments, and then we'll wrap this up so everyone can get back to their Halloween. That's very good. And I'm using a Lifter LMS mug. They sent this to me a couple years ago. I like large mugs like that. Okay, so let's look at some comments. And this is a great comment right here. Oh, my battery ran out. I lost some of the background color. Okay, for beginners, it's a costly deal. Yeah, absolutely. And some things are going to be that way, but it's probably not for someone that's a beginner because you probably want to establish your network in the first place. So anyone that has already been building, already has an online community, it's like a drop in the bucket. But if you're a beginner, this is absolutely something you should not start out with because it takes time to build a community. It definitely does. And so you won't see all the benefits. All right. Sean has a great comment. He's saying, I don't see how it would work with other themes because it taps directly into BuddyBoss's part of your website and database. So the information in the app pulls is independent of a theme. So it does because you can actually have this without a website component. I think that's referring to having this without having that same community content on your website. I could be wrong. They answer almost every question on the page. And if there's enough interest, I'll ask Tom to come on and do a live stream. I've been meaning to do interview style live streams. That might be a good one so we can ask him those direct questions. Yes, Max is bringing up, it's not your app because it's a shell, and the moment you stop paying, it is gone. You're just renting it. Yes, absolutely. It is your app, and what I meant by your app is it's your branding, you control it, it's not linked to other things. That's what I meant by it's your app. It is your app in that sense. But of course, the hosting and the infrastructure and all that is built on BuddyBoss, and you're paying that month. When you stop paying that monthly fee, you no longer have access to their infrastructure. All right. And Andrew, it's is asking, isn't it the same thing? Isn't the same thing available by just being mobile responsive? Yes and no. I mean, you could still access the website content. This is totally different. It's a native mobile app, but the big benefit, the biggest challenge with an online community website is getting people to come back, to have notifications. So the big thing is the notification system. So, and the ease of use. So that's why tools like Facebook are so popular, because people can just pull out their phone when they're doing something and go into the mobile app. It's a different experience than a website, and it's much faster. So, okay. Oh, I lost that. All right. Okay, I'm scrolling through some of these comments here. Thanks for joining the live stream. I do these because I do think people enjoy it, and I know they can be long, but you can increase the playback speed. It's a side benefit. Okay, so I think I'm being asked in all caps, do I know coding? I'm not a coder. I've never pretended to be, and I'm not a designer. I'm neither of those. And most of the people on the channel aren't either of those either. This is a WordPress channel for non-techies. All right. Okay, I'm scrolling backwards, by the way, with the questions, so I might have some of these out of order. And Sean's asking, curious about Zach's question, so I haven't seen Zach's question. Is APO necessary with with CW with Vultr HF plus Breeze extension. Okay, so Cloudways with the Breeze extension. APO is not necessary. You can have APO, but if you're talking about getting the full page caching without paying for APO, with that free plugin that I mentioned during that segment, you don't need APO. And also the way that SiteGround implemented it in SG Optimizer, it's not a requirement at all. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and refresh my my GTmetrix score, and let's see if that's changed at all for those of you that have stuck around. So, all right. Okay. Oh, Zach's question. Okay, let me show this again. Okay, so I just did a refresh of this, and you can see the time score has gone down again. The first one was 2 seconds, and now it's gone down. But let's see if so there was a huge reduction in the TTFB, a very huge reduction, and that's seemed to maintain. So we're still running at 1.4 seconds right here. And we're doing the fonts loading locally, so I'm no longer going to Google for the fonts. And so we're at 1.4. Now 1.4 seconds is fully loaded. If I was to pop this same URL in a, Pingdom? So let's see. Let me go into Pingdom. The site speed would be totally different. A lot of people complain that Pingdom isn't accurate. So I usually use GTmetrix because people complain about that. Let me just pop this in here, and we'll leave it there in San Francisco. Let's do a quick test. And so this is always going to come in lower than GTmetrix. It's just coming in right now. Let me step out while we're waiting, and then I will come back. Okay, so Zach's question was, what is the free alternative to Cloudflare APO if I have my websites on Cloudways? I did talk about that plugin. It was, I forget the name of it. I did cover it, let's see. But I got it right here, so I am the man. It is WP Cloudflare Super Page Cacher. And people love this that use this. You have to add this plugin and it will do the full page caching. This is the free plugin. So you can add this to your Cloudways hosted websites, or not even Cloudways, it could be any website hosting. So that's what you would do. All right. Okay. This is funny. Adam, get yourself a glass. You're right. I should have a glass. Not a. I think you're referring to not having a bottle of water. Yes. Add some sophistication to drinking water and be a good influence on the younglings. Absolutely, Max. I hear you. I definitely hear you. Okay, and here's a question about PWA, which is Progressive Web Apps. And there was a comment underneath this that said Progressive Web Apps are basically just a wrapper around your website. Yeah, so the BuddyBoss thing that I was talking about is not that. All your data is in an entirely different infrastructure that gets synced across. And so it's in that other infrastructure, which enables it to load so much faster, and it's a totally different experience. Here's Dave, and this is in reference to, Dave has a lot of experience working with restaurants, and this is in reference to the local ordering system. And Dave and I have messaged privately on Facebook. He's going to get the first access to it, and we're going to listen to his feedback and implement things that he suggests. But he's saying that the plugin that is going to be released, normally it's 10 plugins to pull it off. And you know what, Dave? That is the genesis of this solution. So when COVID first started, I was looking at all the options to add local ordering to your website. And I found a couple articles on how to pull it off with WordPress, and you literally need like 10 plugins. You need the e-commerce platform. You need the one that changes the layout on the front end. You need one for the different time slots and to kind of throttle the speed of the orders to make sure you don't get overwhelmed. Then you need, oh my gosh, there's just so many different plugins that you need to pull it off. A plugin for printing. There's all these different plugins required. The goal of this is to just erase the blackboard. One plugin, you go through an onboarding process. It's easy to set up. We have it be fully customized experience on the front end. Everything that I saw that was on the market is just kind of a hack job. It's like putting a square peg through a round hole. It didn't exactly fit. This is a user experience first plugin, and it's also going to be a mobile experience first. So everything's being done with the mobile experience in mind. So it'll seamlessly work amazing on a mobile device, but also just factoring in that user experience. So the way the flow would work is you'll have a button in the header that will say start order or something like that, or somewhere there's going to be a start order. You click on that. And then the first thing is we want to ask someone their zip code. And because based upon their zip code, we know if they are in a delivery range and if they might have confused this business with some other business near them and they're so far away and they're never going to be able to pick it up. So we verify their zip code first. And then we have a total different experience that is ideal for ordering, just easily ordering. And so I'm pretty excited about it. A good example is what is the pizza joint? Let me see. So what we did in planning this out is we evaluated a lot of the different websites for online ordering. For example, here's one that we heavily looked at, which is Papa John's. And so Papa John's, I love how big the fonts are. It's really easy. And what does it say here? And exactly what I just said, start your order. And when you click on this, you can't just jump into the order. You need to start the order first. You jump into here, and then we have this option to put in a zip code, or if it's delivery, you could put in a full address. This is kind of what needs to happen. And a lot of the existing solutions are just kind of Band-Aid hack jobs. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to put anything down, but it's like putting the square peg through the round hole. Let's see. Okay, scrolling through. This is let's see, am I getting it on there? There we go. Any Black Friday deals that I'm looking into, and this could probably be a question to me or to everybody. I'm working on Black Friday, and I plan on, obviously every year I compile all the Black Friday deals, some of the best ones. I try to set up exclusive ones. So basically this is how it goes. Is some product vendor that's a good product comes to me and says, hey, I want to, we're going to have this Black Friday sale. Can you add it to your list? I say, sure. What can you give WP Crafter people in addition more than you're just generally giving? So I try to get more for you guys, and that's what I do every year. So I'm putting in the work for that. I'm a little stressed out about it. I got so much work on my plate, but that's all right. This is in regard to the Spotlight plugin. I like the idea of getting people to take photos while on holiday and then hashtagging them for your website. Yeah, I just think Spotlight's a really clever thing when used properly. All right. Chad saying, can one get Kadence starter templates into the WP portfolio? Yeah, I think you can. I think that works. That WP portfolio, I haven't taken a look at it in a while. They have it so you can link to any demo that you have set up. I can tell you that the Kadence is moving all of their demos or their starter templates. They're moving all of them to a kind of a white labeled URL. So it's not going to say Kadence or anything like that. So you could actually use those with your clients. One of the clever things though, that when we're looking at these templates that Kadence allows you to do is it allows you to have these global these globally linked colors, and you can have multiple color palettes. So if you want to, say, use one of the starter templates for a client and you want to show them it before to get their feel on the layout, typically what you do is when you do that is you don't show them things that could have them prejudge the layout, right? So you don't have it be using real colors. You kind of have the wireframe colors and wireframe images, and basically you wireframe it out. Well, because Kadence has the globally linked color palette, you can have a color palette that kind of puts it in wireframe color mode. And so all of the distinct colors, so you saw the e-commerce site had blues and the other site had oranges. Well, you can have a color palette that has these wireframe colors so that your client, when they're looking at the layout, doesn't prejudge it. And then you can literally just fill in your color codes and then change the text and images, and you're good to go. You'll be building websites faster. All right. Jason's asking, does managewp slow down your website? I don't think so. It depends. If it's doing an activity on your website, it will slow it down, but any plugin that does that activity, such as a backup. So if the managewp is doing a backup, your site's performance is gonna just take a hit. It just is what it is. Also, when it's doing its sync, if you have a lot of websites on the same hosting package and it's syncing with all of them, you're going to get a performance hit as well. But it's just a momentary thing, and if you have caching, your website visitors might not even experience it. Chad is asking, is there going to be a Kadence version of WP Portfolio? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I can ask them. I do think that is a clever plugin. Okay. I'm just going through the comments here, and I'm going backwards. Like I said, I probably should have gone to the top and scrolled down. But you guys have done a great job of interacting with each other, because it's kind of hard for me to... oh, this is great. Yes, Andrew, headed to 200,000 subs on this channel. Yes, the channel's actually very close. It'll be at the end of November that the channel's going to hit 200,000 subscribers. I never really thought this would happen. It's so funny. I had 20,000 subscribers, and I was talking to Ben at Elementor, and this is when Elementor had 3 employees, and Ben was the 3rd. And Ben was telling me, your channel, it's going to be big. It's going to be big, and he said the future, which is massive, and they do an amazing job. And he basically was encouraging me that this channel would have 100,000 subscribers one day. And at that time, I thought, never. And then here we are, fast forward, and this channel is about to hit 200,000 subscribers. It's humbling, to say the least. I've grown a lot and learned a lot. And some of you guys that have been around since the early days, I've changed a lot for the good. My videos have gotten better, faster paced, more info-packed. Yeah. All right. Also, here's a question about cart flows. Cart flows, we have a 20% off sale happening right now, and we just made it. If you're a Cart Flows Pro customer, you can also upgrade to a lifetime license and save 20% on that as well. All the info is actually directly on the Cart Flows website. Here's a question about Cart Flows. We have exciting things coming out for Cart Flows this year, by the way. I'm so excited about Cart Flows. You have no idea. Cart Flows, for those of you that don't know, it's a sales funnel building plugin for WordPress, and it happens to be the most popular sales building tool on the internet. It's bigger than ClickFunnels. It's a fraction of the cost of ClickFunnels, as well as I'm the co-founder of the product, so I'm heavily involved in it. Let me answer Winston's question. I didn't show your question when I addressed this, but Winston's asking if Uncanny Automator is going to do another lifetime deal or anything like that. Unfortunately, I don't think they will. I've been trying to nudge them to see if they will, and I don't think that they will. So, unfortunately, when these deals come, there's no guarantee that they'll ever come again, and and if they do, it won't be the same price. And also, these deals, I have them on a contract, so they have to agree that they won't offer this for a lower price in the future, and they won't put this on any other kind of deal site. But I wouldn't deal with one of those types of companies either. All right, I'm going to have to wrap this up very soon. I'm going to just answer a few more, and I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Okay, let's see. Sorry about those weird people that I'm seeing lots of duplications of the comments. I don't know if that was on purpose or what. Oh, darn it, I missed this. I want to see the responsive mode. I think if you're referring to those templates, let me see if I can do that. Let's see. Let me go to the e-commerce store. It's just like any mobile responsive site. So let me do inspect. Okay, so let's see. All right, let me go here. This is how I go into mobile responsive mode, is in Google Chrome. You can go into their tools and you can have it be how it would look on a mobile device. So I'm in a iPhone X right now. And so this is how it looks. The e-commerce store looks perfectly mobile responsive. Isn't this nice? So we have that little hero-y section, and then that grid, and we have our categories. We have our products. We're doing 2 products per line. I think that's better for a mobile device anyway. You can say it looks beautiful mobile on a mobile right there. So I hope that answers the question about mobile responsive mode. And the other one is pixel perfect on a mobile device as well. All right. Dave, I do have the ability to get a moderator, and I'll try to do that. I should get a moderator. Never had a problem. Dave's talking about I was having a problem with someone just posting a bunch of garbage. I should get a moderator to help me. I've never had a problem in the past, but it would be good. Let's see. Oh, it's so funny. Devesh is asking if I had a look at the BuddyBoss app, and I ended up covering it. Okay, and so here's all the spam. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and then I'm going to scroll up, and then we will wrap it up. This is interesting. I like these type of questions. You guys can ask me lots of things. And so Alex is saying, I would like to name my company after a company like Jay-Z has. Jay-Z, very probably internationally known musician, rapper, did when he named his company Rockefeller after Rockefeller. How would I avoid legal issues? So if you're in the United States, I can only speak to the United States. I'm not an attorney, so just let that preface this. So what we have here is trademark laws. In trademark laws, the intention is to prevent market confusion. So what that means is if there's a product with one name or a company with one name, and I want to open up a business with the same name, if it's going to cause market confusion, meaning when someone visits me, they're visiting me, but they're thinking that they're visiting the other company, so it's creating market confusion. There's this confusion that the general market would have. Then you are at risk of the original company suing you, and they can win. But there's a major deterrent to lawsuits in America is they're very expensive. So for them to really do something to you, they're looking at maybe like a $10,000 to $30,000 minimum in legal fees, and it could go up over 6 figures in legal fees. So you want to, when you're naming your business, to do a trademark search and see if there's an existing trademark. Now, if someone has a trademark on something, but you want to use a similar or the same name, but in a totally different niche area category, you can do that because there would be no way that there would be market confusion because you're not selling or servicing the same customer base, the same segments of consumers. So you wouldn't have market confusion. And if they did try to get you to stop, they couldn't do anything about it because they could sue you and you'd still have to defend yourself, but they would be throwing money away and causing you headache because there would be no market confusion created. The reason I know about this is I had a company come after WP Crafter because of the word crafter in WP Crafter. And so it became a legal issue for me, and this was 2 years ago, and I learned this. When I started Cart Flows, before we even announced the name of Cart Flows, we trademarked the name Cart Flows, and we used that trademark to prevent people from infringing on the name to create market confusion. And we do legally use that trademark. So that's kind of the way it works. A funny fact, for the local ordering system, the name that we originally wanted happens to be deeply trademarked and owned by Grubhub. So when I talked to the trademark attorney, he said, "You're playing with fire if you do this. It's nothing for Grubhub to just crush you." So we had to abandon that name, and it took a while to find a new name. But the new name is going to be awesome, and it's not going to cause any kind of market confusion. I'm not an attorney, by the way, but I do recommend trademarking your business name. Web Hugo is asking what no frills functionality plugin you'd suggest for WooCommerce product filters. I couldn't find anything robust. Well, if you want something no frills, most WordPress themes that have WooCommerce integration, if you buy the pro version of the theme, it includes filters. So for example, and this is all of them. So example, I showed you Kadence. The pro version of Kadence Theme has these filters, and it's really easy for the user to go and use the filters and remove the filters, add them, and all of that. But it's not a Kadence theme thing. All premium themes typically have filters for WooCommerce. Price filters, category filters, tag filters, size filters, color filters. They have those. Louis saying 200,000 subscribers, but your hair didn't change. Actually, it did change. In my earlier videos, I wouldn't shave every day, but I got into the habit of shaving my head and my face every single day for consistency's sake. So I actually have less hair, but you wouldn't notice it anyway. But some of my videos, I'm very stubbly. Okay. Yes, I can give you Tom from BuddyBoss's phone number. Actually, we talk over Facebook Messenger when we do talk. It's usually Facebook Messenger. What software do you use for the live stream? No problem. It's Ecamm, but it's Mac only. Here's a question. Adam, do you have any experience with Divi Builder, using it alongside with Kadence? I haven't tested that out. I do know that Divi Builder is a pain in the butt when you're using the builder with other themes because of some of the things that Divi Builder does in their styling. Anyone that's touched CSS is going to know what I'm saying. They use exclamation mark important in different parts, so it makes it very hard to work with the theme. We've had issues with Divi Builder and Cart Flows because of the way Divi does stuff. But I haven't tried it. I would think if you're using Divi, you would probably just use the Divi theme, though. All right. Okay, I'm probably going to wrap this up. I would like Uncanny to do a flash sale, Max, and I've seen a couple other people mention this. I would love if they would. I'll ask them directly. I probably haven't been so direct. I kind of beaten around the bush. I'll ask them directly, hey, is there any chance? 24-hour flash sale. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I really appreciate you guys joining the live stream today. I don't know when's a good time to do a live stream. This is the first time doing it on a Saturday morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me on the live stream today. And I have links in the video description for any of those things. We also carry the conversation on in the WP Crafter Facebook group. That's where I try to go daily. I'm going to start building an Instagram account using Spotlight WP on my website. So I look forward to doing that as well. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a happy Halloween. Gosh, if I wasn't doing this so early in the morning, I would have shown you my dog Lucky in a Halloween costume. It's very cute. Maybe I'll take a picture of that today and post it in the Facebook group and on the Instagram account of Lucky. He's gotten so much bigger. Anyways, thanks for all the well wishes with the fire. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support on the channel. I depend on it. You guys are the fuel that keeps me going. When you guys show up and you comment and you even if it's a comment that might be a little critical of content, that actually helps me out. When you engage in the comments, you answer each other's questions, you thumb up the videos, you share the videos. I mean, I need that. This channel would be nothing if it wasn't for you guys doing those types of things. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween with your families. I'm going to chill out at the house, maybe have a drink. I haven't had a drink in a few months, and just relax a little bit. But I thank you guys, and I will see you guys around. Catch you in the next video.